So hello and namaskar, and this is the continuation of our grand finale episode of O Odissi One World. So this is the part 2 of the episode, which also happens to be the 17th episode of O Odissi One World. So we have with us today a very important guest. In fact, in the part 1 of the series, you did meet O Odissi's President, Mrs. Sangeeta Dash. And today I would like to introduce you to our second guest tonight, Mrs. Sangeeta Dash, a renowned cardiologist in Houston, Texas. She grew up in Guwahati, Assam in India. Her father, Padmashree Rabindra Atibudhi, dedicated his life to literature, culture, and cinema of Assam. Growing up in a household so steeped in Indian art and culture, she kept her passion alive in spite of her busy schedule by being an active member of the Indian performing and cinema circuit of Houston. She's currently serving as the Vice President of the Odissi Academy. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So if I may ask you, take this opportunity because you are here. So what message would you like to give to the community of the Odissi artists sitting in the different corners of the world?
So let me start out by saying namaskar. It is indeed a privilege to participate in a forum of this caliber, in the presence of such great gurus and artists. And my pranam to all of you and greetings from Houston. On behalf of Odissi Academy, I wish to thank all of you for your support and participation. And I would personally like to thank Siddharth Bhai for his tireless efforts and congratulate him on his success in establishing an interactive world platform for Odissi, such as this. Just a moment. I think I've lost a connection here. I don't know if you all can still hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. It would be, I think, a bit amiss of me, I feel, to send a message to this distinguished gathering. But to each one of you, I would like to say you all have been torch bearers of this magnificent dance form. And I would like to offer instead a tribute of immense gratitude. And anyone who has tried to transplant a seedling of some native fruit or flower to another country or another part of the world knows that it takes about 10 times the hard work, it's 20 times the challenge to get that to thrive and grow and bear fruit. And those of you who teach Odissi outside India, I think each one of you have taken up that challenge. And sometimes at great personal cost to nurture these little seedlings of Odissi dancers. I have, through my personal experience, understood that a teacher of classical Indian dance in a foreign land is not just a teacher of dance. She or he has to start from teaching language and vocabulary and pronunciation, then music, then teach them Indian history, instill a culture. Only then you can begin to even start to teach dance. And every day you battle with, conflicting values and conflicting worlds, and it can be a constant struggle. And I have seen accomplished gurus, sitting on the floor, telling little 6-year-olds the stories of Radha and Krishna, of, the Kauravas and Pandavas, patiently explaining, what is a basuri, what is a kalash, drawing pictures, because most of the children don't even know what these words mean. They've never seen one in their lives. Why is the kalash carried this way? And why did Radha not use a bucket? And why did she have to go all the way to the, river to get water? Even those very basic things, have to be taught painstakingly, and nothing can be taken for granted. So it's a whole different level of work. And here in Houston, I have seen gurus and their family members so involved. They drive to pick up the students from school just to give them an extra 30 minutes of lessons. They cook for them, they feed them, they stitch the costumes, they help them with their homework. it's an entire family effort that we see. And I feel like this is probably not what most of you thought you would be doing after years and years of sadhana in an art form. But you do it over and over again because of your passion and your dedication to the art form. And by doing so, in these little children, you unlock, I would say, that love for dance in them. You give them the foundation, the culture, the Guru Sishya Parampara. And they, in turn, they carry that love and culture into their homes, into their families, their schools, and their communities. And it just lights up so many lives all around them. And I myself am one of those mothers, blessed to have classical dance in my home because of my daughter and her Guruji. And my daughter's journey through this world of dance over the past 14 years, it has been a very enriching and uplifting kind of experience for all of us in the family. And, for immigrant parents like us, who it is our deepest desire that we should instill in our children the knowledge of their roots. And I think you make it possible for us to establish that connection to our homeland. And these, I feel, are the glorious gifts that, each one of you who teach Odissi bring to the world every day. And through your dance, I feel each of you is like a beacon, your light just shines steady and far. And I would like to salute you and ask for the Almighty's blessings that you continue to perform, to teach, to spread, and to celebrate Odissi far and wide, in every corner of the world. And it is our very humble endeavor at Odissi Academy to bring to you the recognition and the respect that you so richly deserve through this platform. And once again, on behalf of all the lovers of Odissi all over the world, I thank you for what you do. Thank you so much. Pranam.
Thank you, Dr. Saikya. Lovely words. Thank you so much. So now we move on to our very, very august panel of gurus that we have had with us for the entire 17 series sessions. They hardly need any introductions. They, of course, are the flag bearers of both Odissi dance and music and the culture of Odisha. And we have been meeting them almost every month, month after month. So today I would like to take this opportunity to first introduce you to Guru Sharon Lowen. So can we have a AV, please? Because she's going to speak about herself today.
Namaskar. Siddhartha asked me to share something about how I came to Odissi and a little bit about my teaching. Well, I came to Odissi after 17 years of ballet and modern dance, a BA and MA in Humanities, Fine Arts, Asian Studies, and Dance, a Fulbright scholarship that brought me to India to continue Manipuri dance, and a decision to take a workshop in the spring of 1975 with Guru Sharon Mohapatra, because I just wanted to have an academic understanding of another classical dance tradition. After that workshop, or during it, which was only about 2.5 months, Guruji insisted that I make a costume and record the music for the 3 dances that he had taught me. I went back to University of Michigan for the summer, where I taught and performed for the dance department, and then I returned to India to continue my journey in dance, in actually all 3 styles. In 1986, Guruji said in a television interview that this was after he had accompanied my 22 performance tour of the US during the Festival of India there. He said, "She is now one of my 5 best disciples who I can unhesitatingly recommend to represent the Odissi dance form anywhere in the world. Sharon has mastered the tradition." It was really wonderful. And I'm very grateful, and I feel a responsibility to continue the legacy that he's given me. During the pandemic, I've taught over 20 choreographies of Guruji's and of my own to actually a couple of hundred attendees, dancers. And the next session that I'm planning after a month or so will be probably Bansi Teji, a wonderful Odia composition of Guruji's. My NGO, Manasa Art Without Frontiers, has also, besides in person and in festivals, online offered classes in aesthetics and understanding Natyashastra, Abhinaya, by my co-trustee, Guru Srimati Kamalini Dutt, and my senior Indian disciple, Vishwanath Mangaraj, has taught Talam, and he also handles many of my ongoing weekend classes, as well as the private classes that I do. I have always believed that the best way to extend one's achievements is to help others in whatever ways one can. And because of that, in the 1990s, when I had been recognized as a recognized exponent of the dance, I created 6 annual festivals of Videshi Kalakar Utsav, foreign artist festivals, and Art Without Frontiers seminars that allowed the Rasikas and audiences to realize that foreign artists could be equal to their peers and not simply students. And in those days, I was called the godmother of foreign artists because I could help them navigate the choppy waters of the cultural minefields that sometimes were there, and also to avoid sometimes exploitation, which can happen. Basically, having the opportunities to have live music to work with, to choreograph for special occasions, whether it was temples or festivals, things in different languages, and actually to play a part, a small part, in moving the tradition forward is why I decided to stay on in India. I decided that I would be here as long as I felt welcome and was doing something worthwhile. And now this has been 49 and a half years. One of the highlights was being featured to play myself to inspire a classical Indian dancer to value her tradition, which was in the great film director K. Vishwanath Swarnakamalam, which was in Telugu, and it was the first time the classical Odissi was seen in a Telugu film. So finally, I want to really commend Siddhartha Nayak and the whole Odissi team for encouraging and motivating and promoting artists from outside of Odisha, and all of you who are passionate about this beautiful dance form. I also want to thank the other Odissi teachers and gurus who have given time to give these helpful critiques to all of the students during these many, many sessions. And above all, I want to congratulate all of the dancers, because those of you who have performed in this series have really surmounted innumerable challenges to reach this point of sharing this wonderful art. And I'm happy to have been a part of it. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
It's a pleasure to see the wonderful work that you have been doing so tirelessly, Sharandi, for the last so many years. Your contribution to the world of Odissi is immense. Thank you so much. So if I may take this opportunity to ask you, how have your experience been on the Odissi platform?
It's been actually a wonderful experience on many different levels. First of all, it's wonderful to know of the activities that are coming out of Houston with the Academy, with all of you. It's wonderful that you took the initiative to give a platform for international artists to be seen. In fact, it actually reminds me that in the 1990s, for 6 years, I had done an annual Videshi Kalakar Utsav festival. Ramli knows, he was there, and others. And at that time, whenever one would say to someone, "Oh, a performance by a foreigner," they only heard foreign student. No one thought foreign artist. People knew in those days that someone might be interested in the culture and want to dabble, but no one considered anyone an artist. And so those festivals, just like this series, has made it possible for people to see that international artists can be equal. You don't need quotation marks around the fact that they are from some other place. Some of them are Kalake Kalakar, artists in process. Some of them are very nice young professionals. Some of them have reached a level of seniority. So at whatever level they are in the field of Odissi, sharing their art at that level is not dependent or only interesting as a novelty. You know, she walks, she talks, she does Odissi dance. And I think that is no longer the case. And so this platform has brought into focus in the social media, in the way that now everyone is sharing today, being able to see this on a global scale and not being limited to just those few that are interested or are aware of one person or another. So just the concept and the execution of making available to anyone who stumbles across it searching on the web about Odissi, but the fact that there are many artists from all over the world who have achieved a level, a stature in the art that they love and that they can share. And it's always, an eye-opener, because there will be people from places that one doesn't expect, and it shifts the paradigm of how we feel about people from this part of the world or that part of the world. And so that's one thing that's really very, very significant. On a very personal note, I would say that I had the opportunity to see some wonderful performances, which I would honestly not have seen, because I do not like to look at a lot of programs during our pandemic time, and we're all overwhelmed and people are fear of missing out. Everybody's putting themselves on, and I have a million groups and everyone is like, watch me, watch me, watch me, watch me. And because of being a part of this, I have watched and I have loved every performance that I have seen. And so just very personally, it's been this big bonus. I mean, there are performances that I have seen as part of this that float in my mind. Absolutely. They are so wonderful in so many ways. And having the chance to look at them and reflect on them has been wonderful. It frankly hasn't driven me to go and watch a lot of other people's programs that are up there. But that's been like a very much of a personal benefit, that I've really seen some spectacular programs. And I think it's also the concept, not only to be sharing these performances, but to have the reflections, the positive reflections, positive critiques by those of us who have some experience and are established in the field, to be able to give some feedback. And not all of it is just saying, well, wow, you're great, keep it up. Although we do feel that way, and everyone has deserved that. But we've also been able to give an outside voice. And just as, Sangeeta was, it just strikes me that you were saying about how much one doesn't have the context for understanding things when you are outside of a culture. And so for many dancers, outside of India, and actually, unfortunately, some inside, you don't get feedback from anyone but your own guru and your own peers. And it's really important to not just say, well, whatever I hear from my guru is, they're my God and I revere them, and anybody else is counterfeit and stuff. Okay, here you have gurus coming from different traditions who are actually sharing worthwhile feedback that actually these dancers may not get to have access to. Because after a program, everyone says that was very nice. No one will say is you need to work on your choke. No one's going to say that to you. So we can kind of, that's also been very invaluable for the dancers. And just as, as Ramli remembers with the Videshi Kalakotsav, it was a one-time thing. When you performed there, because you might not have gotten access through other venues, it was like a debut. You were able to be seen. But you were not, after that, ever going to appear on that platform again. Because now you are a dancer with other dancers, and your nationality is not number one. It's just one of the many aspects of who you are. So there was no reciprocity or continuing with that. And so I think that all of the artists that have performed, I really, truly wish them all the best in having now greater access to other platforms, post-pandemic live performances everywhere. And, everyone has challenges, and everybody has challenges no matter who you are or where you're from. But the dancers who have shared on this platform and gotten feedback are better known, are better dancers. They've gotten feedback which will improve their art. They've gotten encouragement. And it's been wonderful also for us just to interact with the dancers and also with each other, and to create this wonderful warp and weft textured fabric of the dancers and teachers from all over. And so I really congratulate, Odissi, the Academy, and everybody. And as I said, Ramli, wah, they're from the beginning hanging in there. And it's been a very, very worthwhile effort on everybody's part. And I'm very happy to have been one of the cogs in the wheel to keep this Odissi wheel behind Aneesh's head turning.
Okay.
Thank you.
So no, but I wouldn't leave you at that. So I would like to know that since you said that this Odissi One World community now comprises of dancers, gurus, and people who so deeply love this art form. So do you and your academy see any possibility of any collaboration with these talented artists or the gurus for some future productions or any exchange programs?
There's always there's always interactions, there's always possibilities on many levels. Excuse me. Now that those of us who may have used technology less pre-pandemic, now we're all pretty comfortable with zooming around. Yesterday, I did a talk to students around the world on Aharya in Odissi. And so the kinds of collaborations are on every level. I mean, in person and easily through the laptop, because whether it's learning about foundational things like Natya Shastra, Nayaka Bed, learning about all of different important theory that's necessary these are all things, Bob, these are all things that can be done online, in person. One can do workshops. Basically, almost everything that we do in person can be done internationally. In fact, even things like teaching choreography, where you can collaborate, where you get musicians together, something we've done in live workshops, which you could do everywhere, is the idea that you take some poetry, and then based on that, you have to understand what kind of rag choices are there, and you decide what works, what kind of talam structure, how many repetitions, how you want to interpret it. And then you get basic music structure with repetitions so that you can play with your sancharis, and then finally come up and make a finished production where you learn how to do abhinaya under the guidance of somebody with experience as an outside eye. And one of the things in Odissi is that for really all of us, we were taught compositions that our gurus had created. There was an era where the gurus started to teach groups, and they set a choreography. Whereas, as we all know, in the South Indian tradition, you are given the line and you develop your own. So we don't generally have that much practice in creating our own development. And I mean, Ramli does this. You teach everything, and you guide your students to create also. Anyway, I'm going off on too much of a tangent on one thing. But basically, whether it's training, whether it's theory, whether it's sharing all kinds of tips, and even doing collaborative productions, it's definitely very, very possible. I think, there are choreographies that can be taught, and then your group can, for instance, be performing them, things like that. There's so many. I mean, everything that you can do live, you can do now virtually.
Thank you, Guru Sharon Lowen. Thank you so much for your words. So we have next with us Guru Ramli Ibrahim, who has been with us since day one. So I would request Ramli bhai, we have seen your AV, wonderful work that you have been doing, but still I would like to hear something from you.
Hi, my name is Ramli Ibrahim. I'm chairman of Sutra Foundation based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I run the Sutra Foundation, which was founded in 2007, but Sutra itself was established. Sutra Dance Theatre was established in 1983, so that makes us almost 38 years old. I started with Malay traditional dances, and then when I was in Australia, I delved into classical ballet and modern dance. In fact, in classical ballet, I went through all the rigors of examination in the Jiketi method, a very difficult method, and got my advanced certificate and was with the Sydney Dance Company for some times in the 70s and 80s. Later, I also became specialized in the Indian classical dance of Bharatanatyam and Odissi. But in the last 25 years ago, I started to really truly kind of specialize in Odissi. I find Odissi more suited to my temperament, really. The asymmetrical quality of the Tribhangi balanced with the Chauka position somehow give Odissi the kind of balance that I was looking for in dance. And I was under the late Guru Deva Prasad Das, whose composition, which was more Shaivite than Vaishnavite, really, gave that interesting underlying tantric substance, which I love very much in the repertoire that I learned from him. later on, I started to work, when he passed on, to work with his senior disciples, mainly with Guru Gajendra Kumar Panda, Guru Durgacharan Ranbir, and with many exposures with other major dancers such as Madhavi Mudgal and her troupe, which I admire very, very much, Sharmila Biswas, with Guru Vichitra Swain from Rudraksha Foundation in Bhubaneswar, with Parvati Dutta, Meera Das, with Sujata Mishra, many dancers that come and go in this atmosphere of Sutra Foundation in Kuala Lumpur. A bit about Sutra Foundation. Sutra Foundation consists of 3 wings, you can say: Sutra Dance Theatre, Sutra Academy that teaches, and Sutra Gallery that is about exhibitions of paintings and artworks. Well, our main thrust artistically is the performance, and we try to promote excellence in our dances. We try to cultivate a Malaysian dancers, and so the Dance Academy part in a way prepares the dancers of Sutra Dance Theatre. In terms of the artistic work itself, Sutra Dance Theatre commissions many works from teachers or dance makers from Odisha, and this is where I first commissioned our first work with Guru Gajendra Kumar Panda in 1986, right after when the late Debuji or Guru Deva Prasad Das passed on. And subsequently, throughout the years, we've always commissioned him. We have brought him to Kuala Lumpur with the musicians, performed, and therefore through this we have cultivated not just audience but also dancers. We've groomed dancers who are Malaysian trained, and they find themselves very, in a way, different from those who are trained in India. I feel mainly because of my modern dance ballet background that uses different kind of techniques in our teaching methods. Mainly I concentrate more on the body conditioning, taking in a lot of the techniques, dance techniques, very eclectic techniques, because I find that whatever I can use, even yoga, to prepare the dancers, and of course we will use that. So we use a lot of these techniques to prepare the body first before they are introduced to the repertoire of Odissi. The other thing that is interesting about Sutra Foundation is the Sutra Gallery, because I managed to kind of gather around Sutra Foundation a stable of very interesting artists who are interested not just in figurative but also in dance. So we were very lucky to have from Odisha the late Dr. Dinanath Pati, who acted as our mentor. And of course, Guru Gajendra Kumar Panda had provided a very strong input, both of them, especially with the art, the cultural rich areas of Ganjam to us. And I felt this is where I felt that Orissa became more and more exciting for me because of this cultural input from the folk traditions that I saw being fed into the classical form. So they painted in Sutra Foundation. They stay as resident artists in Sutra Foundation. The dancers also excite them creatively, always provide them with being the model for them. So in Sutra, we have all this kind of churning of creativity, not just from dance, but from the painting side, from also the literary side, from especially Dr. Dinanath Pati, from the art direction, art graphic from Jyoti Swain and Ramahani Jaina. These are artists from Odisha. So I think this is where we keep a close connection with Odisha and Odissi. What would you like to hear from me, Madhumita ji?
Anything about yourself?
Well, well, I hate talking about myself, but in the sense, I concur with everything that Sharon has said with regards to having this international platform, and it is also important for us because, you know, to make a breakthrough in Odisha is not easy. You know, Odisha can be difficult in the sense that people tend to guard tradition very strongly. They don't want the interference of people outside Odisha. But also it is important to be proud of this because the Odissi has, as mentioned, transcended the barriers or the national barriers of just the state of Orissa. So it has become, many people is claiming them. Many people are claiming that they love it. They love the exquisiteness of Odissi. So I think, you know, and now that the older generations have left us, you know, the pioneers of Odissi, and I think there is a major guru in the sense of Maya Daraud that is left with us. And then this is why I say that people like Sharon were there during also the pioneering times of Karishma Mohapatra, I with Deva Prasad Das. Also, we are also on the first-hand basis of the spirit of Odissi that was promoted by these gurus. And they're different, completely different. And I think Debuji was different from Kalubabu in many ways. And we kind of now understand that it takes a very good dancer to present the parampara or the bani as best as it could. You know, there's no point saying that the Kalucharan Mahapatra style is better than Debuji's style or vice versa, but it takes a very good dancer because the instrument of Odissi is the dancer eventually, that to make the style beautiful and to contribute to it. And there is a lot of challenge now to take on also the input from people outside. It is no longer, as we all know, that it's no longer a solo form mainly. It is, you know, if you go to Konark Festival, if you go to the big festivals, it is the group. And how does the composition of a group, for example, influenced by also the concept of space, the concept of looking at layering the group composition. All this, I think, has been influenced because there are people from Calcutta, there are people from Delhi, there are people from Chennai who are also contributing the development that has taken place on these areas and contributing it to Odissi. And this has happened in all forms, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's ballet or classical music, Western music, or even for that matter, classical Indian music. It has traveled worldwide and gained the kind of a global image that it deserves now. You know, I mean, India, the civilization in India is known because of this, because of the yoga, because of the music, because of dance, and Odissi is really coming up as one of the most beautiful export of India to the outside world. So I think the cross-fertilization is very important, and I think this platform has been pioneering in that area, and I congratulate again that we have kind of stuck to it, and I think Siddhartha has sometimes confronted with parochial outlook of this area, you know, and he has stuck to it, and I'm very pleased that we have successfully presented 17 platforms, online platforms, and with high standard.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much. So we have with us Guru Jayashree Mohapatra. So Guruji, can you speak a little bit about, again, Odissi and yourself and your academy? Please unmute.
Odissi, everybody knows that it comes from Odisha, and it's a very, it's different from other classical dances, a little bit with we have chokha, tribhangi, and body movements, and all this. And probably everybody knows what the Odissi is, but I'm going to talk more about this program because I'm thankful that I came across so many gurus in the panel. I met them through this program and all over the globe, and then all different artists. And the proud for me, I'm an Odia girl, Odia lady from Odisha, but when I see other countries' girls are dancing Odissi, taking to a different level, it really makes me very proud of it, actually. And about what else, I'm speechless now.
Tell us something about your academy, about the work that you are doing in USA.
Oh, I have a very small academy here. It's just a small one, trying my best to, my passion is to pass on the Odissi dance to next generation. That is my goal, that is my passion, and I'm trying my best to do that here, teaching all the girls who don't understand the language, like Sangeeta ji said, that teaching them, making them understand the words, making them understand the bowl and the tal and meaning of the abhinaya. And I agree with Sangeeta ji too, that I'm one of that guru, Sangeeta ji, who actually cooked for the students if they stay longer for the practice. I even babysat them after the classes if their parents are not there. I am that kind of, I took all that parentship, probably you could call. I did that part of it, and I'm happy that my girls are doing very good job, like learning the Odissi here and trying to pass on the art form, the best art form I would call from my to the next generation.
Thank you so much, Guruji. Thank you. So unfortunately, we don't have our other gurus joining us today. Guru Rabindra Atibudhi, he has some family engagements in Odisha, so he could not join us. And Guru Mondira Balkaransingh and Guru Sangeeta Dash, both I think are slightly under the weather, so they could not join us.
Namaskar. My name is Pandit Guru Rabindra Atibudhi from Mumbai. My native place is Bahada Jhola, Nangano district, Odisha, India. आज मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि मेरे जीवन की लाइफ हिस्ट्री जो है मैं आप लोग के साथ शेयर कर पा रहा हूँ। ओडिशा से मुंबई तक का जो सफ़र है, मेरे जीवन का सफ़र है, कैसा रहा आप सबके साथ शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। 8 साल की उम्र से मैंने घर छोड़ दिया था मेरे गुरुओं को पाने के लिए। ये मेरा सौभाग्य है जो कि मुझे देवगुरु जैसे देवगुरु गुरु पद्मश्री तारिणी चरण पात्र और गुरु जो कि गोटीपा नृत्य के थे वो देवराज मुनि, गुरु देवराज मुनि। उसके बाद पद्म विभूषण गुरु केलुचरण महापात्र और आदि गुरु पंकजचरण दास और गुरु मायाधर राउत, ऐसे महान गुरुओं को पाकर मेरे जीवन धन्य हो गया है। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ ओडिशा की तरफ से जब पहली बार ओडिसी रिसर्च सेंटर बनाया गया था तभी 10 गुरुओं को चुना गया था जो कि महान गुरु थे। उस महान गुरु में से मैं भी एक गुरु था जो कि 10 गुरुओं को लेके उन लोग नृत्य को किस तरह का उड़ीसी नृत्य को किस तरह का उनका जो थ्योरी है, उनकी जो अंगभंगी है, उनकी जो नंबर्स है, जो शुरुआत का होता है नंबर्स, ये सारे चीज़ को और थ्योरी के साथ उसकी शास्त्र को जो बनाया गया था, तभी हमें गवर्नमेंट 4 साल का हम लोग को फेलोशिप देकर रिसर्च के लिए रखा था। और हम उसी समय हमारे महान महान गुरु लोग थे, जो कि आदि गुरु पंकज चरण था गुरु थे, पद्म विभूषण गुरु केलुचरण महापात्र के तरफ से ये सारे चीज़ बहुत अच्छी तरह किया गया था। गुरु माधर राउत जी थे और ऐसे महान महान जो गुरु थे, गुरुओं के साथ भुवनेश्वर मिश्रा जो कि उड़ीसी नृत्य का जो आज तक जो भी जितने सारे म्यूजिक है, उस म्यूजिक को उन्होंने बनाया था। वही सब गुरुओं के आशीर्वाद के तले हम लोग सब नृत्य का जो रिसर्च है कर रहे थे। उस समय ओडिसी रिसर्च सेंटर के मुख्य अधिकारी पद्मश्री कुमकुम महांती थे और जितने सारे हमारे उड़ीसा के जैसे कोणार्क मंदिर, राजा रानी टेम्पल और अलग अलग जितने सारे टेम्पल थे जिसमें कि उड़ीसी के स्कल्पचर थे, उस स्कल्पचर को जब भी उड़ीसी में डाला जाता था तो मुझे लेकर मुझे वहाँ पर खड़ा करके वहाँ के जितने भंगिमाएँ हैं, उड़ीसी नृत्य के भंगिमाएँ हैं, और उस चीज़ को मेरे शरीर में, मेरे अंग में उसको दिखाया जाता था और उसको लिखकर लेके आते थे और रिसर्च के अंदर उसको डाला जाता था। इसलिए मैं बहुत खुशनसीब हूँ कि मुझे लेकर ये चीज़ को उन्होंने करते थे। सारे गुरुओं की आशीर्वाद मेरे ऊपर बहुत रहा। ऐसा ही कई सारे अनमोल एक्सपीरियंस लेकर मैं दिल्ली रवाना हो गया। दिल्ली में 3 साल रहने के अंदर मैंने उड़ीसी नृत्य सिखाया और क्लास भी किया और बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम भी किया। प्रोग्राम के बाद फिर मैंने मुंबई रवाना हो गया। 1969 में मैं जब दिल्ली से मुंबई आया तो मुंबई और महाराष्ट्र में उसी समय उड़ीसी नृत्य नहीं था और फर्स्ट टाइम मैंने उड़ीसी नृत्य को इंट्रोड्यूस किया और उसके साथ साथ पूरा प्रचार भी किया। मुझे याद है 1969 सितंबर 22 वो डेट में मैंने मुंबई में पहुंचा और मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं था, ना घर था, ना वार था, कुछ नहीं था, ना पैसे भी थे। अकेला किस तरह का मैंने रहा होगा, किस तरह का मैंने उड़ीसी नृत्य, उड़ीसा, श्री जगन्नाथ ये नाम को मैंने आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, सारा दुनिया में प्रचार करने के लिए मैंने ठान लिया कि नहीं, मैं यहाँ पे रहकर सारा दुनिया में मेरे उड़ीसी नृत्य को प्रचार करूँगा। सभी दिन आया था जो कि मुझे खाने को नहीं था, सोने के लिए प्लेस नहीं था और रहने के लिए जगह भी नहीं था। और ये एक कलाकार के लिए समझ लेना चाहिए कि उसने अपने कला को अपने जीवन बनाकर किस तरह का संघर्ष किया होगा। इस समय संघर्ष करने के बाद मैंने एक उड़ीसी कला क्षेत्र इंस्टीट्यूट बनाया और उसी इंस्टीट्यूट में एक से दूसरे, दूसरे से तीसरे कई स्टूडेंट धीरे धीरे तैयार होने लगे और उसके बाद मैंने रजिस्टर किया जो कि 1990 में मेरे यूनिवर्सल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ डांस म्यूजिक एंड आर्ट इंटीग्रेशन इस नाम का, जो कि उदमाई बोलते हैं, जैसे UIDMAI, उस नाम का एक इंस्टीट्यूट किया जो कि मैंने महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट का ही रजिस्टर किया। इंडिपेंडेंट 2000 में मैंने 50 ओडिसी नृत्य का, प्योर ओडिसी नृत्य का कोरियोग्राफ किया था। ओडिसी नृत्य के जो आइटम्स होते हैं जैसे मंगलाचरण, पल्लवी कम से कम मैंने 20 से ओवर पल्लवी बनाया है। जो पल्लवी उड़ीसी नृत्य के आधार पर उड़ीसी नृत्य का जो भंगिमा है और संगीत है, ये सारे चीज़ को लेकर मैंने हमारे जगन्नाथ जो संस्कृति है, उस जगन्नाथ संस्कृति का, जैसे कि रथ यात्रा पल्लवी, जैसे कि टाहिया पल्लवी, जैसे कि चंदन पल्लवी, जैसे कि बटवृक्ष पल्लवी, ऐसे कम से कम 20 से लेकर 22 तक मैंने कोरियोग्राफ किया है, जो कि एक सुंदर भाव से वो सब आता है। जैसे कि अगर उस नृत्य को देखें, जैसे आप रथ यात्रा नृत्य को देखेंगे, रथ यात्रा को देखें या उस नृत्य को देखें पल्लवी को, वो पल्लवी के अंदर सारे उड़ीसी के पोज, उड़ीसी के भंगिमा, उड़ीसी के संगीत के साथ आपको पूरा रथ यात्रा की भाव दिखेगा, वो रथ यात्रा ही दिखेगा। अच्छा, गीत गोविंद के जो गीत रह गए थे वो गीत को, और चंपू चौपती, जो हमारे उड़ीसा के बहुत बड़े बड़े राइटर थे, बड़े बड़े जो लिखे हुए, जैसे गोपाल कृष्ण और भक्त कवि बनवारी दास और चंपू चौपती, ये सारे चीज़ को उपेंद्र भान जी के जो उन्होंने जो कविता लिखे हैं, उसके ऊपर मैंने बहुत सारे अभिनय को भी बनाए। और नृत्य नाटिका में श्री राधा प्रेम लीला, श्री कृष्ण लीला, श्री राम लीला और महाभारत जैसे कई प्रकार के बहुत सारे मैंने कोरियोग्राफ किया है। इन्हीं कोरियोग्राफ को लेकर मेरे सारे स्टूडेंट्स जो कि सीनियर स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उन लोग को लेकर मैंने इंडिया में, मतलब नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल में बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम किया और बहुत सारे डेमोस्ट्रेशन किया और बहुत सारे वर्कशॉप किया। और उसके साथ साथ मुझे कई सारे नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल लेवल के अवार्ड से नवाजा गया है, जैसे कि ओडिशा संगीत नाटक एकेडमी अवार्ड और वर्ल्ड फ्रेंडशिप अवार्ड जो कि यूएस में मिला था, और फूड फेस्टिवल अवार्ड जो कि जर्मनी में मिला था। ऐसे कई सारे अवार्ड्स मिला हुआ है। और उसके साथ साथ बहुत सारे फेलिसिटेट किए हैं, जैसे कि ओडिशा संगीत नाटक एकेडमी अवार्ड, वर्ल्ड फ्रेंडशिप अवार्ड यूएसए और जर्मनी, फ्रांस, ऐसे अलग अलग प्रकार के भी अवार्ड उन लोग से भी मिला हुआ है। और उसके साथ साथ इंडिया में भी कई सारे, जैसे कि सुर सिंगर संसद जो है बम्बे का, उसमें श्रृंगारमणि अवार्ड और हरिदास सम्मेलन अवार्ड और बहुत सारे ऐसे अवार्ड मिलने के बाद कई फेलिसिटेशन भी किया गया है। और उसके साथ साथ एक श्री कृष्ण रासलीला जो कि गीत गोविंद हमारे उड़ीसा के सबसे मुख्य स्टोरी होता है, उसके ऊपर हमारे गवर्नमेंट और एक प्रोड्यूसर मिलकर एक श्री कृष्ण रासलीला, एक फ्यूचर फिल्म जो कि फर्स्ट ईस्टमैन कलर उड़ीसा में ही बनाया गया था। फर्स्ट ईस्टमैन कलर, कभी तब तक ईस्टमैन कलर बना नहीं था। और उसमें 36 सॉन्ग थे, जो कि आज तक कोई भी फिल्म में 36 सॉन्ग नहीं। तो उसी के कारण उसमें मैंने 12 रोल किया था, कृष्णा का रोल किया था। मेन जो हीरो था, मैंने हीरो का निभाया था। और उसमें मैंने जो 12 प्रकार के रोल लिया था और उसकी अच्छी तरह निभाया था, एक्टिंग को, अभिनय को। जो फिल्म बना था वो उड़ीसी नृत्य के आधार पर ही हुआ था, जिसको कि डायरेक्शन दिए थे पद्म विभूषण मेरे गुरुजी गुरु केलोचरण महापात्रा, और उसका डायरेक्टर थे सोनू मुखर्जी। और उस फिल्म को भी नेशनल अवार्ड मिला और मुझे भी नेशनल अवार्ड उस फिल्म से ही मिला था। मुंबई में नालंदा रिसर्च सेंटर में 36 ईयर उड़ीसी नृत्य को शिक्षा दिया और उसके साथ साथ बांद्रा में शारदा संगीत विद्यालय करके एक विद्यालय है, उसमें भी कम से कम 12 से 15 साल तक मैंने ओडिसी नृत्य को शिक्षा दिया। नालंदा डांस रिसर्च सेंटर में रहने के समय पे वहाँ पे एक हैंडबुक ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी इस टाइप का एक बुक निकला था, उसमें मैंने मेरा ओडिसी नृत्य का रिसर्च फेलो करके इस टाइप का मेरा लिखा हुआ है, उसमें मैंने लिखा है। उसके बाद मैं एक सोचा कि इस ज़माने के लिए 21 सेंचुरी के अंदर तक जो ओडिसी नृत्य को शुरू से लेकर आज तक जो भी हो रहा है उसके ऊपर मैंने कुछ लिखूं। और प्रभु के दया से, जगन्नाथ जी के कृपा, तो मैंने संस्कृत में लिख रहा हूं। और उस ग्रंथ शायद इस साल मतलब 2022 के एंड तक मैं उस ग्रंथ को निकालूंगा। अब ये बुक पब्लिश होगा तब आप लोग के प्यार, आप लोग के आशीर्वाद आप लोग ज़रूर मुझे दीजिएगा। जय जगन्नाथ, नमस्कार।
Mondira Balkaransingh was born in Delhi, India, and migrated over to Trinidad and Tobago in the late 70s. She was not able to find work despite having her master's. Subsequently, they chose to propagate Indian classical dance, and they did it for the passion and love, not money. Nirtanjali means an offering to the fine arts, specifically to dance, Nritya meaning dance and Anjali meaning offering. She, together with her husband at the time, Dr. Balkaransingh, founded the troupe in Trinidad and Tobago. Their intention for attempting to teach Kathak and Odissi in Trinidad is because Trinidad had teachers teaching these particular dance styles, but they were never here for long. They always just visited and they did not go in depth into the art form. Dr. Balkaransingh and Mondira wanted to change that. The company began in Rio Claro, where the instructors would leave their home in Trinity every Sunday at 8 a.m. to reach down for 10 a.m. and teach until noon. The basis was Kathak, a form of dance. There they formulated the beginnings of the theatre, performed Kathak, and then started Odissi in the early 80s. They did a lot of lecture demonstrations to teach the public about the classical and historical aspects of the thousands-year-old practice. The themes were typically apolitical and non-religious regarding folk dances. They were popularized based on the fact that there were less restrictions than classical dance and were easier to understand as a result. While classical goes beyond religion, even if the stories are formulated from the fabulous Indian mythology, their approach was to teach it as a classical art. Rituals had to be observed, such as showing up clean, having your hair done, and not wearing shoes. Performing the Namaskar was also important. It is a practice where one bows down to God, the teacher or guru, as well as the audience. It means I respect the divinity within you, and vice versa. In Kathak and Odissi, it is actually touching Mother Earth on whom we stamp, asking for forgiveness for any missteps, seeking the blessings from the ground, because we believe that energy comes from the ground. Before any practices or performances, we end and start with a Namaskar. In 1994, they were incorporated by an Act of Parliament, and the Netanjali Institute of Classical Indian Dance as a non-profit organization began. They were invited to esteemed events at the Little Carib Theatre, the President's House, and the Prime Minister's House. They then represented the governments in many countries as part of a delegation promoting the Indian classical dance and relating it to the Trinbagonian culture. In that aspect, one of the first ballets they performed was Penal Harvest. It was first performed in 1981 and repeated in 1985, with local singing, local musicians, and written by Dr. Satnarayan Balkaransingh about a small farming village in Penal. They realized by doing ballets based on stories of the divine and classical forms was more relatable to the Indian population in Trinidad and made it easier for them to digest. In 1994, they were awarded the Hummingbird Medal, and they haven't stopped since.
So now let's move on to the performance for today. That is the finale episode performances. So we have the first artist performing for us today is our first performer for today, that is the finale episode, is a lady from Chennai, India, Karishma Ahuja. She has established the Kadambari School of Odissi Dance in Chennai. So let's watch an AV of her school and then her dance performance.
kita tinita rina ke tinita ta ke dha kita ke gadi gadi the.
thanks, Karishma. That was quite an enjoyable show. So, Karishma, if I may ask you, how do you think you can use this Odissi Academy and the Odissi platform to have more open dialogues and partnerships with your other artists from all across the world that you see here?
I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you, Siddhartji, Madhu ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to perform and present my art to an international audience and to this wonderful panel of gurus. And it was a wonderful experience for me to get the feedback, constructive feedback on my dance from such accomplished gurus, and it would help me a lot in my dance. I would like to use this platform to learn, share knowledge, and collaborate to take Odissi to a larger audience across the world. And this could be done in a lot of ways. It could be done by ways of sharing processes to apply for programs within India, abroad, knowledge on that front. It could be done in terms of organizing. I have a small, humble little festival that I organize every year, Kadambari Utsav. So I'd be happy to invite artists to perform for my festival. And maybe collaborate with other artists to create new work and take it across to a larger audience. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Karishma. Thank you so much. So next we have Vitalina Lobach from Moscow, Russia, performing for us. She has been an Odissi teacher for the past 2 decades at the Embassy of India, that is the Jawaharlal Nehru Center in Moscow, and has till date trained more than 150 dancers in Russia. She's one of the most sought after Odissi dancer of foreign origin in Western Odisha. So let's sit back and enjoy her performance. That was a wonderful performance. Thank you so much. And it's so early in the morning in Moscow. I think it must be around 5 a.m. Vitalina, but you still managed to join us. So thank you so much for that. And so I would like to ask you, Odissi has now got this amazing network of artists from different countries. So how do you think you can reach out to these people for striking up some collaboration or partnerships for different productions in Russia and elsewhere?
Thank you very much for inviting me. I am very happy to see all of you. And it's very wonderful, really, that we can see so many programs. I also join this your program. What I wanted to say that what is happening here now and how I am teaching. What was my idea? I started teaching in 1995, and at that time in Russia, it was opinion that only Bollywood dances in India, only Bollywood. And when I invite new students, they came to me and they would like to see Bollywood. And I put them steps. They start doing choka and tribanga. Of course, many people are left immediately because they was expecting Bollywood. And really, Indian classical dance, very difficult. You know, we are all dancers, we can understand that. But slowly, slowly, really, it was possible to choose some children, some ladies who are really was very much interested, and they start continue. At time to time, it was in my class, it was maybe not 30, 40, 50 students. They're coming, they're going, they're coming from another cities. Now we are also using Zoom. Yes, some students are, just now I'm training one girl in Finland, in Helsinki. She's doing well, but difficult. I never seen her, and Zoom is not giving clear movements with music. And I'm asking her to put music there that I can see that all steps are coming in time. No, maybe in future it will be possible and she will come to me. I want to introduce, I published one small book last 2 months. 2 months ago, I got it. This is the dialogue of cultures. many articles are here. They're not big articles, many articles, and the dancers and the teachers, and first of all, my Guruji, Madhvi Mudgal, they gave me this small articles. I request everybody, please write something. Write how we love Odissi dance. And this book came out.
Okay.
So trying to do something. And really it is nice that we can meet and we can help each other. We can discuss. I also thinking, just I thought a few days ago that I want to ask some questions. I did not decide whom I will ask, but I also have some questions about new dance composition, which I want to do. Of course, what is difficulty we have is no musicians, and I have to take different music. Yesterday we performed Charishnu. Charishnu was composed by Madhu Mudgal. It is a little bit modern touch of music, classical, very heavy beats, different type. I compose Odissi on that. Yesterday we went to another city to perform, but otherwise no programs, nothing. It's thanks God that we have.
Okay.
Like this
Thank you so much.
Like this platform, and we can perform. Otherwise, nothing. All people are sitting at home. No, children are going to school, but cultural center closed for 1 year.
Okay.
The cultural center, which you said that I am teaching in Indian cultural center, closed for 1 year. No,
Okay.
I am teaching some other thing, because students want new information, they want to perform. People want to live complete life, which is difficult.
That's
now.
wonderful, in fact. So we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will try.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Vitalina. Thank you so much. So the next performance coming up is of Sunanda Mio from Nangano, Japan. She has been working very hard to popularize Odissi in her country. So let's watch her.
काञ्चनवर्णा कुङ्कुम शोणशोभा नील सरोजनेत्रा मञ्जुक्ति सम्प्रदायै सदा श्रेया उत्फुल्लिता आरभि रागिणी बुद्धि सरे
Sunanda. That was a very graceful performance. So if I may ask you, you come from the land of the rising sun, which symbolizes hope, light, and new beginnings. So what would you like to say to all the artists on this forum?
So first, I'd like to thank Odissi Academy and Siddhartha ji and Madhumita ji for your effort of making and sustaining this platform for dancers. And also thank you for having and giving me this opportunity to be part of this program. So I think it was my first online performance experience, and I had a good experience to get comments from renowned gurus and connect with the dancers across the globe and to watch the performance. So this definitely became a trigger for reflecting more on my own dance. So we don't know how long this situation of pandemic continue and what's going to happen in the future, but whatever the situation may be, the external world is not in our control and the world is always changing. So I hope we can always look at the good side of the thing and do what we can do and enjoy it and live a life peacefully and happily. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunanda. Thank you so much. So our next performer is Aneesh Raghavan from Puducheri, India. So let's enjoy his dance.
Ashadasya Prathama Divase, on the first day of the month of Ashada, the rain cloud the young girl and the peacock all come out to express their mutual love and play as they glance at one another in joy and fervor. This romance of nature ends with a celebration in rain. And finally, the girl realizes that she's all drenched, and for the first time, she feels the timidity and embarrassment of a woman. This piece, which is a beautiful blend of Pallavi and Abhinaya, is choreographed by my guru, Srimati Sangeeta Dash. This piece was appreciated by the great writer, late Padma Bhushan Manoj Das. It was he who named this piece, Ashadasya Prathama Divase.
Thank you, Aneesh, for yet again giving us a fabulous performance. It's always a treat to watch you. So Aneesh, you have performed here many times. How would you use this platform for any kind of collaborative work and projects with the network of artists and gurus that you see here?
Namaste. I would like to start with thanking everyone, especially Siddharth ji and Madhumita ji, for this wonderful platform, because Odissi One World is actually covering a very important part of the Odissi world, the international part of it. Odissi in Odisha, we all know, thrives and it has its own world that it has created. But I'm sure most of us have, because of the love for the culture and Odissi, felt connected to that world, and at the same time because of distance and our state of being in other places have sometimes missed a lot of what goes on in that world. And somewhere this program has given us that opportunity to celebrate Odissi in its international aspect, which is very important for today's times. And that is why I thank you so much. And moreover, the way it was structured with such great gurus coming and giving a constructive feedback in such a positive way, in such an encouraging way, is what every dancer looks for. And I think we were very lucky to have got it here. So I would again thank all of you from my heart, and all the other dancers also who have shared their art that has only helped us widen our perception and realize the scope which is there for every dancer to progress. So the way I look at this program and the way it would help me connect to the others, I think would be again through such sessions, which is not just limited to dancing, but even for discussions on various subjects. Today we realize that dance is just not about performance, and every dancer slowly has to come in terms with this truth that dance is more than just appearing on the stage. It is a knowledge, it is a sadhana, and it enriches you at many levels. So if we could have discussions and we could meet up, not just end it with performances, but continue with pondering on certain topics, especially in the presence of such renowned gurus, I think that would be a very, very beneficial thing for all of us. And moreover, I wish that the pandemic helps us go beyond just this Zoom Zoom meeting, and that if we could even meet in order to collaborate and stay in touch as a family in all ways, that would definitely help us grow and take Odissi to a greater level. So thanking you so much for having me in this wonderful program.
It's a pleasure, Aneesh, and thank you so much. And I hope our gurus have taken note of your request. So, okay. The next dancer performing for us is Zofia Lichota from Chorzów, Poland. She is a disciple of Padmashree Guru Ranjana Gaur. So can we have a AV please now?
pa ma ga ma da pa ma ga re sa sa re ga ma pa ga ma pa da ni re sa ni sa sa re ga ma pa ga ma pa da ni re sa ni sa sa re ga ma pa ga ma da ni sa sa re ga ma pa ga ma da ni sa ga ma pa ma pa da pa da ni sa ni sa sa ni da pa ma pa pa ma ga ma da pa ma ga sa sa ni da pa ma pa pa ma ga ma da pa ma ga sa sa ni ga ma pa ga ma pa da ni sa ni sa ga ma pa ga ma pa da ni sa ni sa sa ni ga ma pa ga ma da ni sa sa ni ga ma pa ga ma da ni sa ga ma pa ma pa da pa da ni sa ni sa ma pa da pa da ni sa ni sa sa ni ni sa da pa ma ma ga ga ni sa ma pa da pa sa sa ni ni sa da pa ma ma ga ga ni sa ma pa da pa sa ni ni sa da pa ma ma ga ga ni sa sa pa samjhena sina
Unfortunately, Zofia could not attend the finale episode as she has some prior commitment, but we thank her all the same for her contribution to the world of Odissi and to the Odissi platform. The final performance is by the dynamic duo Geethika and Harenthiran from the Sutra Foundation, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Okay, so let's enjoy their performance.
One half is golden hued like the champa flower, the other white like camphor. Braid on one side and heavy locks on the other. Perfume with musk and saffron on one and smeared over with ashes on the other. Bracelets and anklets tinkling on one side, with bright reptile anklets on one foot on the other, adorned with a garland of mandara flowers to the left and with a garland of skulls on the neck to the right. I bow to the androgynous form of Shiva, in which the left side resides the mother of the worlds, the right the father of the universe.
Champeya Gaurardha Sarira Ka
चंपे गौरार्ध शरीर काय कर्पूर गौरार्ध शरीर काय कर्पूर गौरार्ध शरीर काय धमिल वतैच जटा धरा धमिल वतैच जटा धरा नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः
जटा जोटपुट गंगा विमंडित बाल तटे बिदुखंड कळे मुंडमल तनो सर्पजल भूत प्रेत गण रुंड कस्तुरी लेपिनि कंज विलोचनि मंदर मालिनि अंबे दुख निवारिणि विश्व निधारिणि शंकर खिणि जगदंबे डम 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 डिबि 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 डिंडिम डंबरु नाद झम 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 किणि 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 किंकिणि नुपुर निनाद फंग 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 फाणि गर्जन प्रचंड झल 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 कुंडल मंडित गंड हळ हळ पानि प्रचंड उन्मत्त उदंड तांडव खंड उन्मत्त उदंड तांडव खंड थो थो दिग दिग तत्ता जन जन ध्रिमि ध्रिमि बाज मृदंग थो थो दिग दिग तत्ता जन नन ध्रिमि ध्रिमि बाज मृदंग ध्रिमि ध्रिमि बाज मृदंग थो थो थलंग गदिगन थे थो थो थलंग गदिगन थे थो थो थलंग गदिगन थे
लेपनाय श्मशान भस्मांग विलेपनाय कस्तूरी का कुंकुम लेपनाय श्मशान भस्मांग विलेपनाय सकुंडलाय फणिकुंडलाय शकुंडलाय फणिकुंडलाय नमः शिवाय जय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय जय नमः शिवाय
जन जनता जन जनता तद्दै जन जनता जनक जनक तक जनु जनु जनक जनक तक जनु जनु तधै तधै तक जनु जनु तधै तधै तक जनु तद जन 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 तक जन 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 तद जना कृत तक जना कृत तजना तक कृत जना तक कृत तजना तक कृत जना तक कृत तजना तक कृत जना तक कृत
कण कण किंकिणी नूपुराय चण कण किंकिणी नूपुराय बिभ्रत फणा भासुर नूपुराय बिभ्रत फणा भासुर नूपुराय भीमांग दाई च फणांग दाई
narigiட narigiட darigiட narigiட darigiட narigiட tat hey tak tak tin tak tak tin tak tak tin tak ta gadigana dig 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 ta dig dig tidda dig dig tidda dig dig tidda dig dig tidda dig 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 hey dig dig tidda dig dig tidda dig dig tidda dig dig tidda dig 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 hey tatta di hey di hey di hey tatta di hey di hey di hey tatta di hey di hey di hey
भीषण नीलोत्पल लोचनाय विकाश पंकेरुह लोचनाय भीषण नीलोत्पल लोचनाय विकाश पंकेरुह लोचनाय त्रिलोचनाय विषमेक्षणाय त्रिलोचनाय विषमेक्षणाय 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 नमः शिवाय जय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय जय नमः शिवाय
तत् जनकेटि तक जन जनकेटि तक जनक जनक जनकेटि तक जनकेटि तक तत् जनकेटि तक जन जनकेटि तक जनक जनक जनकेटि तक जनकेटि तक जनकेटि तक जनकेटि तक जनकेटि तक जनगति गण तक फलांग तक जनगति गण दा तक फलांग तक जनगति गण दा तक फलांग तक जनगति गण
मंदार माना परिशोभिताय कपालमाना परिशोभिताय मंदारमाना परिशोभिताय कपालमाना परिशोभिताय दिव्यंबराय च दिगंबराय दिव्यंबराय च दिगंबराय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय प्रपंच सृष्टिमुखलाशकायै प्रपंच सृष्टिमुखलाशकायै त्रैलोक्य संहारक तांडवाय त्रैलोक्य संहारक तांडवाय त्रैलोक्य संहारक तांडवाय 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 कृतस्मराय विकृतस्मराय कृतस्मराय विकृतस्मराय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय
जय किट गति गणदा तत् दई 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 तक दई 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 किट दई गति गणदा तत् दई किट दई तत् दई किट दई तत् दई किट दई तत् दई किट दई किट दई किट दई किट दई किट दई गति गणदा किट दा किट दा किट दई गति गणदा किट दा किट दा किट दई गति गणदा किट दा किट
अम्बोधर श्यामल कुन्तलायै तडित प्रभाताभ्र जटाधराय अम्बोधर श्यामल कुन्तलायै तडित प्रभाताभ्र जटाधराय जगत् जनानि जगदेकपीत्रे जननी जगदैकपीठे नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय सदा शिवाना परिभूषणाय सदा शिवाना परिभूषणाय शिवान्विताय च शिवान्विताय शिवान्विताय च शिवान्विताय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय 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 नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय च नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय गणे नारायणे रुद्रे अंबिके भास्करे तथा भिन्न भिन्न न कर्तव्यम् पंचदेव नमोस्तुते गणे नारायणे रुद्रे अंबिके भास्करे तथा पंचदेव नमस्तुते पंचदेव नमस्तुते
That was indeed a power-packed performance. Thank you so much for this visual delight. So my question, I don't think Haren is here with us today, but my question to you, Geethika, would be, you are part of an institution that's doing such amazing work in Malaysia and abroad. So do you think you can use the Odissi Academy stage and this Odissi One World platform to forge meaningful collaborations for different productions and also encourage exchange programs of artists and students?
Good morning to everybody. First off, I would like to just let you know that, as you said, Harendran unfortunately could not be here today with us. So he extends his pranams to all the gurus and his sincere apologies as he has work that he has to attend to. So I'm here today speaking on behalf of Haren and myself. First off, we are truly thankful to Siddharthji, to Madhuji, and the ODC platform for having the opportunity to perform. But more than performing, I think we're really pleased that we were able to watch so many dancers from across the globe and the constructive criticism from each gurus, and that was truly a wonderful experience. Having that said, I think that answers your question. The ODC platform and the Odissi Academy has already succeeded in forming this collaboration and bringing dancers together, gurus together for the sake of Odissi. So in that sense, I think we are at a stage now where the current generation needs to come together. We need to work together to build for Odissi to grow, for us to give it to the future generation. So being in Sutra for all these years, with Master Ramli, I have been blessed to experience, to watch, to work with so many dancers and gurus who Master Ramli invites down to Sutra, to Malaysia, to give performances, workshops, seminars, and to teach us. So that collaboration that I've been experiencing for the past 20 years, it is indeed something that I am thankful for. And now I think both Haren and I, we are really pleased that besides Sutra, so we get to experience this collaboration, this networking through the ODC platform as well. So we really look forward to hopefully more physical collaborations once everything is open and we are free to travel with less COVID restrictions. So I really hope we are able to meet face to face and build this connection with the current generation, just so we are able to take on the legacy of our pioneer gurus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Geethika. Thank you. With this, we come to the close of this marathon 17-episode YouTube series of an online Odissi dance festival. This humongous task has been made possible by the tireless effort put in by Mr. Siddhartha Nayak, ably supported and encouraged by all members of the Odissi One World community. So I now request Mr. Siddhartha Nayak to say a few words.
Namaskar. Thank you so much. I will start with thanking our online audience. Okay. Without online audience, we couldn't have come so far. This is 17th episode for 17 months. And there's so much of encouragement from online audience. They subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have now more than 700 subscribers. If I collect all the episodes together, we have more than 6,000 viewers online. And it is not confined to only India, it is all over the world, at least from 20 different countries. Unfortunately, all the dancers couldn't participate in the grand finale, but we have dancers from Bangladesh, we have dancers from China, we have dancers from Taiwan, Japan, so many countries in Europe. And so we will continue our journey to entertain our audience, because everybody wants audience to be happy. My sincere thanks to all the gurus. Unfortunately, all the gurus are not here today, but without you all, we could have not done such a wonderful journey. I hope this program, the way it was planned, of course, we changed a little bit. I hope over the last 16 months, I'm able to satisfy gurus, their expectations, particularly the quality expectation. All the gurus, they do know that quality in terms, it's a different parameter, and you are at such a high level in Odissi, and I hope this program gave you pleasure. And then I would like to thank all the dancers, not limited to 5 dancers today. All 32 or 33 dancers have performed so far. And everybody from outside the Odisha boundary, because we wanted to see how the dancer adapted the culture of a distant land. And a few of them are in India, but majority of them are outside India. So without you, I wish please collaborate with each other. We'll take it further. If everybody is interested and somebody can volunteer their time, we will continue our endeavor. Then I would like to thank my Odissi Academy team. Their constant supporter behind the scenes, but like they don't come here. Today, Dr. Saikia is here. Last episode, Mrs. Sangeeta Dash was here, but I would like to thank my team. Without their support, this organization couldn't have sustained for last 7 years. And I must thank you on behalf of everybody to Madhumita from the day one. She is alone in Delhi. She manages all the scripts, everything, and able to present in a very natural way, not an artificial glamour way. She has been doing a wonderful job so far. I hope everybody, including dancers, gurus, they like her presentation. And if everybody is happy, we can collaborate further, and we'll see how our future lies, whether in the physical form of Odissi One World, or we can still continue in this online version. So thank you once again, and namaskar to you all.
Thank you, Mr. Nayak. So now let me say our heartfelt thanks to all our gurus for being with us month after month after month, and being such a backbone of support and encouragement. And a big thanks to all our artists who has performed for us. A shout out to our audience for all the affection that they shared on us. So thank you all for being part of this Odissi One World story, making this series such a stupendous success. I would request all the audience as well as everybody associated with Odissi, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website, odissaacademy.org. And please leave your comments and suggestions. So with that, this is me, Madhumita, signing off for now with the hope that we meet again on the same stage with new artists and new beginnings. Odissi Academy will of course be coming up with physical events very soon once things settles down. So with that, I would say I take leave from you saying goodbye, namaskar, and Jai Jagannath.
Thank you.